Right. Welcome, everybody, to this live class on website energetics and imprinting your frequency onto your online presence. My name is Nora Rose Zinnerman, and I am a branding and website designer. And the main thing that I do is help my clients reflect the true essence of what they do onto their website. Welcome, Lynn.
Hello.
So today what I'm going to be talking about is a little bit about the website energetics, which happens actually on your website, and that is the container of, where all your teachings, all your gifts, all your offerings are sitting in the online space. Yeah. And then I'm going to be talking a little bit about how to imprint your own frequency onto the website. And this is a topic I love. And what happens really is we kind of sometimes really worry about the website, what is it showing, the photo, the colors. We just get a little bit tangled up in what should be happening on a website. But the main starting place is that it is a thing in the online matrix that is expressing who you are, what you do. And also from here, it's also serving clients. It's helping people understand if they really want to work with you, it helps them connect with you, and it helps them to basically make a choice. Sometimes a website is not directing people to work with someone. Sometimes a website is simply a place where people find resources, a place where people, by reading an article, might even find some healing straight on the website, or listening to, your voice, or watching a video. So the power that a website holds is really important for a business owner, especially for personal brands, people that are, here running their businesses as a personal brand. You're not an organization, you're not a large corporate, and even if you do have a team, you as a business owner hold the frequency of the work you do. I have a team of people that I work with, but I still hold that frequency. I am the source of the work and the method that I offer. And that is also really important when you are creating a website or when you are refreshing a website. Is this making sense so far? And please do ask any questions you have. All questions are valid. It's lovely that I can see everybody as well. So I'm going to be sharing my screen, and let me know if you can see it. Just before I go into that, do you all have websites? Yes. Okay, perfect. Tell me a little bit how it's going. Is it okay? Is it feeling a little bit icky, perhaps? Tell me your feelings, thoughts.
I have a little bit of website shame because I put mine up very quickly, and it was fine at the time, but it's very much like an ongoing, oh my God, I need to update everything pretty much because I've evolved. So it sort of is a reflection of where I was 18 months ago, maybe. And it's on my to-do list, and it just stays on my to-do list, and then I do everything else and I never look at that. So
Yeah, totally. Excellent. Thank you. Anyone else?
I can go right off of that, because you said it so beautifully. Yeah, website shame. It worked for me really well. I built it maybe a year and a half ago, but since then my business has really taken off. And I need it to represent where my business is now because I've evolved. So
excellent.
Yeah, very similar. I've got 2 websites. And one's for my art and the other's for my work as a coach and a therapist. And the one that really bothers me is the coach and therapist one. And I think that word evolve is really appropriate, because even in the space of the last 3 months, there's been so much internal change going on with me. But over the course of the last year, I have what I call tinkered around with this website. I
That's
keep
a really
changing
good
the
word.
photos and the content and all the rest of it. And I think it's just been the mirror of what's going on in me. So I look at it, I think, oh no, just can it start again?
I
So-
love that. That's so helpful. I think I'm also feeling really boxed in by the server that I'm using, and I just need to jump to some place that's going to allow me to grow. And so it's like, how am I supposed to choose one that I know has got integrity and can really support what I'm trying to do, because the product is not helping me anymore.
I can relate to that so much, but it's not my server, it's the actual builder itself, which is a really clunky thing. And so if I change something, I use lots of templates, and then if I try and change a picture, everything goes wonky. And so it's really frustrating. So I'm like, oh yeah, you
Yeah.
kind of need to get somebody who knows that system in particular, because it's not WordPress, it's not anything, it's a
Yeah, mine's on Squarespace, so it's not so much an issue with Squarespace as a product. It's who
your
am I? You know, as a representation of me, then it still doesn't sit right with me.
very good, very good. Hi, Sheena, welcome, welcome. You don't have to put your camera on if you don't want to. Just say hello in the chat if you wish, and whereabouts you are. So yeah, website shame, website embarrassment is something very common, and it happens to everybody. It happened to me, you know, up until recently. And what that does is it kind of holds you back, because, you know, there's these expression of you out there in the matrix, you know, saying that this is who you are and what you do, even if the photos are old, even if, you know, the words are a little bit dated, just all those things are communicating and connecting with people, which is a version that, you know, is not there anymore of you. So I always feel that that kind of drags us back a little bit. And also I like to express that when we do a new website, we typically would have a vision. So, you know, from where you are, you're kind of using that website, using the new brand to move you forward towards where you're going. Because when there's kind of an evolution internally, what happens is it's there, it's showing us where we want to be going, but also, you know, we're almost not quite there yet as well. So these movements from where I am and where I know I'm going, because all this revolution happening here is, you know, being helped by the website as a container of where I am going. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, and thank you so much for sharing. It's really good to know where you are. So this is a presentation on website Energetics, and this is just me showing the little photo of my new photo shoot with the same shirt. It's current, it's the latest thing, you know. My previous photos were beautiful, but I had a lot less wrinkles, let's say that. So today we're going to be talking about website energetics and activating your online presence. So your website is the online home of your business. And I know it sounds really obvious, but you know, if you think back in the old days, we used to do all our interactions with customers and potential clients in person or on the phone. So all of these exchanges, they used to happen in a, I would say, more colloquial way, you know, there was like a human connection. But now all of that needs to be happening on your website. Whether you work in person or whether you work only online, your website is already become, you know, the place where people go, the place where people want to connect with you. And, you know, in the old days, perhaps, you know, I would have had a client come to me, they would have sat next to me on the computer, perhaps, they would touch my screen, we would have discussed things. I would have done some little drawings, you know, and ideas on a piece of paper. All of that is not happening really, you know, we're online. And so if you are a practitioner of some sort, of some modality, you perhaps would have welcomed a client and you would have said something in the lines of, come in, you can put your coat here, this is where the toilet is, would you like a drink, and please sit down. So all of those micro interactions are guidance, they are instructions. Yeah, you might have been taking some notes, a questionnaire. Yeah, so what you're doing in person, you are holding space for them to be welcomed. You're holding space to come in to your practice. And online is exactly the same. You are holding space for your clients to come into your world. How is this landing? Making sense? Thank you very much. Okay, lovely. So your website needs to replicate the in-person experience. Literally, what you're doing is you're guiding your visitors and you're welcoming them in the same way as if you were in person. And this is really important because we sometimes forget, you know, we get confused about what am I going to say on the website, and literally is this, hey, come on, welcome, this is what we're going to be doing, and if you want to, you know, XYZ, it's a little journey of steps that you are instructing them to take for them to meet their needs. Yeah, it's not just about you, the website. It's all about them being held. And this kind of conversation that goes on the website needs to be done in a way that is aligned to how you work and who you are. Why? Well, because we want to have a resonance with the people that are aligned to work with us, and we want to have a dissonance with the people that are not aligned to work with us, because then someone else will serve them much better. So your business is the online sanctuary of your soul business. And I'm sure a lot of you, you know, you're doing business in a way that is, you know, is coming from your passion, is coming from your gifts. It's not something that you're doing because you have to. You know, you've studied XYZ, even if you don't like it, you're doing that job kind of thing. Most of us become, you know, business owners, entrepreneurs, because we love what we do. And so we want that passion to also be communicated and integrated in the website. So your website is a business tool, and it helps you to create, like we said, connection, interactions, but also, you know, there are transactions. You know, it's a place where people can buy things, book appointments. You can have perhaps a funnel, or you can have a sequence of little things like sign up to my mailing list. You know, it's a bit of an assistant in the sense that it pre-qualifies people before they meet you. So for example, my website, what it does is it doesn't really sell very much at all, but it pre-qualifies people. So before they come and work with me, they know a little bit about my business. They know a little bit about my services. They know my prices. So when they come to that initial clarity call, they are already familiar with the work. And what happens in that clarity call? I can go deep with them. I don't need to tell them, hey, this is what I do, this is my experience, this is where I've been. You know, all of that is kind of covered. And so we can go in. And like I said, in the old days, we might have had a phone call with someone, and, you know, you had to explain things and qualify this person. Is she or he a good fit to work with me? Is what I offer something suitable? You know, sometimes, you know, I would have conversations that they were like maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then they didn't lead to anything. And all of that time is really important, especially if you are, you know, a small business. So the website kind of does a lot of the hard work for you. And it's also an energy field, like I was saying a minute ago. You know, it creates that resonance or it creates that dissonance. And that is really, really important. It attracts the right people and it repels the wrong people. Is it making sense? Lovely. Let's have a look at the chat. Lovely. Oh, hi, Sheena. You're in Melbourne. Fantastic. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So your website is a portal into your world. And so for most visitors, it might just be the very first point of contact, even if they've been recommended. You know, when I recommend someone, I tend to send them the website link. I don't give them the phone number anymore. You know, I just send them to the website, because then the recommendation, whoever is the person I'm recommending, they just get a picture of what I said, because that's how it works these days. Yeah. And it's a little bit like a shop window. So, you know, sometimes, I mean, just imagine, you know, you're walking and then perhaps you're not looking for anything in particular. And then you suddenly see a shop window that kind of draws you in. You know, there's something like you go, ooh, ooh. There's a little tug, yeah? It can be from the heart, from the belly, you know, something kind of draws you in. So how did that happen? Well, the person that created that shop window did intentionally, yeah? They placed everything in a way that would resonate with the right people. And this is exactly what you will be doing in your website. You will intentionally be infusing it with your vibration. You will intentionally be infusing your own frequency on your photos, expressing, you know, and I'm kind of getting taller, expressing who you are. You will intentionally create the right words that are super aligned with who you are. And that is your shop window. Yeah, those are the pieces of the puzzle. Of course, there's a lot of strategic decisions and marketing decisions, but the essence of a website is composed by your frequency and by meeting clients' needs and guiding them correctly to where they need to go. So actually, I'd like to invite you to do a very short visualization of this kind of the felt sense of your container, your website. So the invitation is to close your eyes and just feel your body wherever you are sitting. You just need to follow my voice. And this is a short attunement to feel into the atmosphere of your website. So just taking a deep breath and relaxing your body. Coming away from the mind towards the body. And perhaps you want to bring presence by placing your hand on your heart or on your belly or anywhere where it might help you to settle, feel present with yourself. And this is an inner thing. It is within you. I'm beginning to feel into the atmosphere of this container in the online space. It can be something like colors or words or a place. It may just be a felt experience. You know, you get a felt sense of the experience of being in your online container. Just using your breath to relax into whatever is coming. And grounding yourself in whichever way you know how to ground yourself. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming back to the call. You're very welcome to share if you wish to. Just unmute yourself when you're ready.
I had a very I just had a sense that I was somewhere very I think the word Glastonbury comes to mind. I love Glastonbury, the town, just quite just like a boudoir. It felt like a boudoir, like really comfortable and just big cushions everywhere and, you know, kind of fabrics, like it was lovely. Yeah, it felt really like I was like, oh, I can just like breathe here. Almost a bit like a temple, but, you know, like a kind of a temple that's, you know, yeah, goddessy boudoir sort of thing. Yeah.
Feminine and sensual.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it was great. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was wonderful. I learned a lot in the business training where I first met you, Nora, where I really was able to identify through visualization, maybe even you led it, for my ideal client, which was all about, I want to be with someone who'd be very happy to walk a path around a lake with me and sit on a dock with a cup of coffee. And as soon as I identified that for my ideal client, those are the people I've started attracting. Like, I can't get off my sessions with them because we just want to keep chatting, right? And so the visualization was so lovely to tie it all together to say, oh, that's what my website should feel like too. I can use that same imagery. Lovely. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So a friendly, relaxed, very approachable. That's the word that comes up. Really approachable, easygoing.
And I do want to go to the Goddess Boudoir as well, so I'll be visiting that place.
Me too.
Right? I'm immediately attracted to that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to go there too. I drifted off. I've no idea what you were saying, Nora. Because something's arrived literally before joining the call, so I was in a marquee for an art fair. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, nothing to do with the website.
Okay. Well, you know, it happens when it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is something very easy to do. You know, you can do this at any point in time. And in fact, this is something I teach my clients when we work together to do often, you know, to tune in. Because we're so distracted, you know, oh, so-and-so is doing this, and oh, I love those colors. Oh, I should be doing a post like that. Oh, so-and-so told me I should be doing X, Y, Z. You know, there's just so much noise. But, you know, as a solopreneur, as a personal brand, you know, coming back to your embodied essence, and I'm sure you know how to do these. this is the place where you root yourself and where you know what you're going to be showing, what you're going to be expressing. You know, and obviously art is that, yeah, it's just coming from where you're at. Hi, Sheena. Nice to see you. Am I saying your name correctly? Lovely, lovely. So, yeah, thank you, Lynn. Oh, you need to unmute yourself if you want to share.
Is that, am I unmuted?
Yes,
Okay. I just thought I'd share because I didn't kind of do a visualization as such, but what was coming to me is with my website, I'm kind of building up to, and I'm sorry I'm late, I missed everything that happened before, but I'm building back up to almost relaunching it with a fresh energy. But the thing is I know I need a fresh energy within myself first. And so that's kind of the reason I'm doing the treadmill and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, although it wasn't a visualization, that was more of a realization that that's kind of one of the underlying things that I'm doing is, yeah, just kind of revamping myself before I can revamp my website. So yeah, it was more of a realization. So thank you.
thank you. Thank you for
I'll
sharing.
pop back off so I'm not distracting everyone.
You can stay there. I'll mute you. That's it. I've muted you. So you can stay there. I don't mind the movement. It's nice to see you. Yeah, it's really important what you said, actually, because I knew I needed a new photo shoot, and it took me a good 2 months. I gave myself the time before doing the new photo shoot. I didn't just, I felt the urgency. I felt the urgency. Oh my God, those photos. I've got shorter hair, more wrinkles, you know, whatever. But I knew I had to sit in that uncomfortable period of coming through with any photos, feeling into it. What am I going to communicate? How do I want to be? What do I want to be creating for people to connect when they see those photos? Yeah, I knew I upgraded myself. That happened. I knew I elevated my way of working and my methodology, but I wasn't ready to do those photos. So especially the previous 2 to 3 weeks beforehand, I gave myself a lot of space to really just marinate in that discomfort, to be honest, to really get to the photo shoot. So I wasn't pushing, I was just giving it space and expanding and contracting. And so this preparation that you're doing, you know, for refreshing the website or having a new website, it's really important. And it's really important to give it space. You know, sometimes I get clients that they come to me and they say, oh, I've been following you for 2 years, 3 years. I was waiting to be ready or whatever. Yeah, so this is the movement towards that place. I'm going to carry on and share my screen. So that was the last slide. So your website works on 3 levels. It works on the energetic connection with your visitors. It's also a container for your gifts and your teachings. And it also is practical support for your business. And I'm going to go into each of these. So for the energetic connection, imagine what happens when your customers land on your website. Yeah, this is really important in the sense of the subtleties, and we all understand subtleties. This is not who your ideal customer is only, or the exercise of, you know, what are the customers going to get us results. This is more about the atmosphere that I want to create when I'm welcoming them. And then the other side of the coin is, how are my clients feeling just before they can work with me? How are my clients feeling when they come to my website? So for example, my clients, like all of you were saying, they feel discomfort. They feel frustrated, most of them. If they have a website, that is the general feeling. If they don't have a website, they feel a little bit of apprehension, perhaps. Oh my God, la la la, I'm gonna do it. They are quite nervous, but they're very ready at the same time. They want to do these, and they are so keen that they really absorb like a sponge everything, especially for someone that is doing a website for first time or that had a DIY website before. And then there's the other place, where my clients are upgrading and they are really stepping into their, next level. And with those ones, what happens is they had an internal upgrade. They've got all of this going on inside. They might have 2 websites, 3 websites. It's just become too much to manage. And they just need somewhere to kind of land all the new creations that really has some good website architecture. So that is the place where my clients are at. So the invitation is for you to really understand where your clients are at, that you consider ready to work with you. The website is also a structured container. So creative entrepreneurs, like I was saying, they need a place where to land their ideas. They need a place where they're going to put all the offerings and their musings and their teachings. Sometimes as creative beings, we have a lot going on. So the website also serves us as a place where we just, okay, in this place, I'm going to do my writings. In this place, I'm going to sell my offerings and so on. So when a website is well designed and the architecture is correct, it provides a home for the business owner. And also it presents a clear and useful information for clients, and it guides the clients with clarity and ease. So it does a lot of jobs. And your website is also offering practical support for you. And we touched on this a little bit. Is a support and a sales tool. It magnetizes the right clients, and it also repels the other clients that we don't want to work with. And it also pre-qualifies your customers. Like I was saying, in the old days, I'd have phone calls. Many of my clients that didn't have websites, they tell me, oh my God, I don't have those long phone calls anymore to see if I can help this person. They just go to the website. And so then I can go straight to work, or if they book a call, to clarify anything, it's short, it's quick. And also it guides your customers into your sales funnel, if you happen to have sales funnels. One more thing to say about clients being ready to work with you, and it's really important, is, sometimes people come to me and they want to do a website, but they're unclear about the services, they're unclear about what they're offering, or perhaps they haven't even done the business that they want to be offering. So it's important to know that in 6 months' time, that person will be ready to work with me. But, that is like a few steps behind of where I prefer them to be to work with me. Now, we talked a little bit about the website as a container and how it relates to clients and what's happening with the clients and how they connect with the website. Now we're going to go to the other side, which is you as a business owner imprinting your frequency onto the website. Yeah, so these are the components, some of them, but the basic ones. Is this making sense so far? Wonderful. So how to imprint your frequency on your online presence? Well, this is something I love talking about because this is what I teach my clients. I teach them to embody their brand. And embodying their brand is, or embodying your brand, is the way in which you root all your communications in your absolute unique essence. Your unique essence, the way you work, that no one can replicate. And by embodying your brand, you suddenly become confident, you become relaxed, you know how to express and say what you do, you become a lot more powerful in a kind of quiet way. because your website has your back. The way you express things feel right. And so it's beginning to energetically attract the right people. So you hold the keys within for your frequency to be translated onto the website. And I mean, as a conscious business owner, your brand identity frequency start within is what I was saying. And it's not only a set of beautiful images or, you know, a matching color palette or a great, beautiful font. It's a lot more than that. What needs to happen on the website is we need to show what it's like to be in your presence, what it's like to work with you. And the translation of that is really what gives us the font, the colors, and all of those things. Yeah, so when clients, sometimes they come to me and they say, oh, what do you think about fonts in the very beginning? Or what do you say? I've got a color palette that I've already made, you know, my mind up about. I said, well, let's just park that for now and see how it goes. You know, sometimes it's too soon to be doing that. We're going to be getting to that as we collaborate together and as we work together. Is this making sense? Because branding is like a concept, really. Yeah. And actually, in the old days, it used to be called corporate identity. We didn't really call it branding. We called it corporate identity. And I'll design a logo well before design anything else. So it's completely isolated. But now these things are kind of intermingling. So it's important to understand and know what is the essence of your own brand. And with this, I'd love to invite you again to do a short visualization, if you'd like. And so the invitation is to close your eyes. And this is all about your brand essence. And taking a deep breath and settling. And again, placing your hands somewhere in your body if you feel like it might help you to bring presence. Now I want you to tune into the thing that you do with your clients or with your work. The thing that you do when you're really happy. And it feels easy. It flows. It's kind of effortless. And it doesn't feel like work. And tuning into the felt experience of that thing that you do, even if you don't have any words to describe it. And again, you may have colors or words or images or sounds. And just allowing for that essence within you to take space inside. And grounding yourself, however you know how to ground yourself. And coming back to the call and opening your eyes. to do. If you'd like to share, please unmute.
I had a vision of just being really comfortable and speaking on the phone and just like talking and getting really involved, and then I kind of almost felt I was in like a womb-like space. It felt really like enveloping and just very like just felt really safe and really like held. Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, it was great. That was, yeah, and I just felt like it was it was almost like it was a communication, but you know, it was like I wasn't holding a phone. It was just like being present, like that connection. Like that's kind of, yeah, what was coming through. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a real sense of holding space, and very calm, and I want to use the word exquisite, but listening, the attentiveness to the other. And when you mentioned colours, there was like very pale, gentle kind of aquas, greens, pinks. And there was kind of flash of purple that came at the end as well. So, but there was just this quality of restfulness.
That's such a good word for the essence of your brand, you know, for describing that essence. Yeah, it's the core thing that you do that sometimes is so difficult to express with words, but just having a taste of what it feels like is the beginning of imprinting that later on. Stay with that, stay with the flavors.
I work with clients that I know things that they don't know about themselves yet. And very often it goes very smoothly and it flows very well, but there's also just a sense that I need to meet them where they're at and what they're ready to discover about themselves. So I'm a teacher, and I look at that as, you know, when you're a teacher, you don't bring your students where they're not ready to go. You meet them where they're at, and you just put the next crumb in front of them so they can reach for it and grow in the way that's appropriate for them. So that's what I'm thinking about, is this attitude of being a teacher, nurturing, but being very safe, people to be exactly where they're at, who they are. They don't have to do anything. It's really a place.
Wonderful. There's nothing to be done.
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent.
Thanks.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen now. And thank you for sharing. So like I was saying, you know, we used to call the concept of branding was like non-existent. It didn't exist 30, 40 years ago. Like I said, we used to call it brand identity or corporate identity. So these branding concepts, it can be quite all-encompassing, and it can be a little bit like, do I need a brand? Do I need a logo? What's the difference? So I don't get into the conversation what it is or what it's not. You know, I just thought I'll give you a few, you know, bites of what I think personally it is, so that you can really begin to piece it together as you are beginning to construct and feel into your brand and your website. So obviously it's your identity. You know, that's very easy and very clear, but we forget sometimes. Again, it is your identity. Your brand is what identifies you, who you are from everybody else. You know, what you do is unique. You know, I offer websites and brands, and so many other people offer these. And the way I do it is completely unique. You know, what sells is my frequency. What sells is the experience of being with me. You know, there's so many other designers out there, and for you it's the same thing. So it's always coming back to this unique essence, your unique identity. It's also the experience that you create, and we talked a lot about that. It's also the look and feel, which we haven't talked about at all, but you had a little taste, you know, of the atmosphere, felt sense of what it could be, you know, like. It is the emotions that you evoke in people as well. And it's also the values that you stand for. And these are foundational. Yeah. The values that you stand for, what you really want to be doing, what you've been putting here to do, really, your mission in a way. So when you have brand clarity, it becomes very clear, it's crystal clear, and you are relaxed about communicating that thing that you do. So you can root all your communications in one overarching clear foundation. You can also become very fluent and comfortable about your brand. You have discernment. Well, that doesn't really feel like my brand, but that is definitely like my brand. Yeah, when you see other things, you have this discernment now, you know, that it feels, that doesn't feel right. It's not, oh, I like pink, I like apples. It's not like anymore. This is definitely like my brand. This feels exactly the same frequency that I want to be communicating. Then you also can explain with ease the essence of what you do, which is what sells really. Then you can align your inner vision with the outer translation. And that is something, you know, that is like a piece of work in itself. Yeah? We have the vision, sometimes we don't know how to express it. And then also you learn to activate your soul brand in you, which is a little bit of what we've just done now. We've activated that soul brand within you. This making sense? It's a bit of a concept, this thing. Thank you. And so when, I mean, this is actually how I work. I work with clarity and with embodiment. And I came to these, you know, when I became very honest about all of my skills, you know, and how I combine them. You know, I come from a very corporate background where, you know, I had to, you know, be very clear, you know, it was fast moving environment kind of thing. And then, you know, I had a personal spiritual path that was kind of completely separate. But when I began to merge the two parts that I was actually keeping separate, suddenly my methodology became really clear. And so you hold the vibration of the work that you offer. You are the source of this work that you offer. And this is all to do with your method, your signature way of working. And knowing how to embody your brand and translate that frequency to the outer world is the work of all clients, you know, everyone that needs to be creating a website eventually. And we're coming to the end of the presentation. So this is just a little reminder slide. So just to position yourself as a business owner, you're running a business, then you've got also your website, and then you've got your clients. So it's like you're switching from being business owner and practitioner, yeah? And the website is sitting there in the middle. These are all the things that you can distinguish, you know, when you are kind of working on your business. So if you would like to start your journey to have brand clarity, I created a course which is, oh my God, it's gorgeous. It's called Embodying Your Brand, and it's 1 hour long. and it has some beautiful questionnaires. Honestly, is my method. It's just what my clients rave about. And I'm going to give you a discount code if you want to do it. Now I made it available to everybody because anyone can do it really. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be offering a live Q&A in a couple of weeks. So if you, for everybody that took the course, basically, so if you want to take the course and then you want to come to the live Q&A and, you know, bring your questions, it's going to be a bit like questions, hot seats, you know, feedback, all of that in one. So this is the ideal time if you want to kind of get onto the course. And if you're interested in this way of working as well, and if you're considering doing a website, whether you're going to do it with me or not, it doesn't really matter. You know, this is like a foundational piece for you. So this is the discount code. When you put sale-now on the courses, you get the 30% off. There's also another course, which is Plan and Create Your Brand Photo Shoot. But really, if you're going to be doing any work, the foundational one I recommend is Embodying Your Brand. And then after that, Plan and Create Your Photo Shoot. And these courses are really a step by step. One, Embodying Your Brand is a little bit like I was saying, you know, a concept, a felt experience. It has visualizations again. And Plan and Create Your Photo Shoot is super practical. You know, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, plan your photo shoots. Any questions so far? You know, from the presentation, from everything that we said? Yes.
I just have one question. So I've come across the energetics of like branding, like, but only kind of in the context of like an Instagram feed or something like that, like the course that I did. And I think it's almost like one thing that came up for me there was is there a point where it can be like too much? You know how some things can be quite heavily branded, like in the sense of you know, like what would you say, like the guidelines, the way, you know, so that it's functional and it works for the client without being too, because you want to magnetize your client, but also you know.
Yes. I love simplicity, so I'm the queen of simplicity. But each brand, each business is very different. Yeah. Some brands are like moving forward. So for those of you that know Nicholas, do you know Nicholas, Sheena? No, I think, no. Yes. Okay. So some brands are really moving forward. You know, they are power brands. They are very kind of loud and, you know, they are kind of really all encompassing. And there's some other brands that are a bit more leaning back. So for example, my brand is like, I'm passionate. I'm a very excitable person, but also, you know, I lean back a lot. You know, there's the mystery. I've got mystique in one of the tests that I get my clients to do. I've got the mystery, you know, that je ne sais quoi, that people are curious about me. It's very attractive. Yeah, it's like a private club. Some people are more flashy in the sense of, you know, blingy. I've got clients that are really blingy, you know, a bit, you know, showing off. So every brand is going to have different components and different frequencies that are going to be showing on their website. Is this answering the question?
Yeah, that's really helpful. It's really helpful because I think when I think I've spotted my issue is that I've kind of DIY'd my brand to the point where it's kind of almost clashing. There are some things, elements that just jar, and I can feel that now. Whereas at the time when I was putting it together, it just was like, yeah, it'll be fine. It looks all right, but it just didn't feel all right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I will be offering a mini website review now for, those that want to stay. We're coming up to time, so I'm very aware of that. But you're all welcome to stay. I will be offering a very short website review for those that want to stay.
Oh, thank you so much.
Any other questions? Okay, so there's one last slide. I think, yes, for those that want to work with me, there's the option of having a website refresh. There's also the option of having the 1 week Radiant website, which is a templated option. Or if that's like, those two are like short term, they last about a week or two. But if you really want to hang out with me for 11 weeks, and go really deep, then you either go for starter website design or the ascended website design, depending on the scope of the work that you need. And of course, the best place to start, if we haven't worked together, is having the courses and building your brand. That is the best place to start. So is there one more slide? Yes, that's me again saying hello on my photo. Right. Would you like to do a mini website review? Anyone? Yes. Okay. Both of you. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Let's do a couple.
I would love to, but I have to hop off. I've got another call starting in a bit. This is,
Oh, I'm sorry. We can do it another time.
Yeah, that would be so lovely. I really appreciated this. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Michaela. Sorry, we're running a little bit late. I'll do another review for you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Lynn, did you say you wanted yours?
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me the URL. I don't think I've seen your website, so it's quite nice to go to.
Yeah, I'll look at the coaching and therapy one. So it's my name. So it's LYNN HAN F for Freddie ORD and then hyphen DAY .com.
DAY day.
Yeah, lynnhanford-day.com.
Okay.
And it should be the coach and therapist.
Okay, lovely. All right. Okay. So tell us a little bit what that website is about, what you offer.
It's
therapy.
Yes. And this is the one that I've tinkered around with many, many times over the last year and a half. And I feel like I've just got lost with it. And maybe it's trying to do too many things. So it was built as a very simple, like 5-page website. It's on Squarespace. So it's got the home page, and then I've got a page about psychotherapy, one for coaching.
Just tell me about what you offer.
What you offer?
Yeah, what you offer. I mean, like I was saying earlier, coaching and therapy is just so generic.
Yes. So in terms of the counselling, it's, working one-to-one with people who are clearly troubled in some way or other. And I'm particularly enjoy working with midlife women and older women.
Got it.
And they may be dealing with relationship issues or burnout or things from the past that are unresolved in some way or other. On the coaching side, working again with individuals, but I also have done a lot of coaching for organizations. So I'm brought in to work with leadership teams, basically working with them more from a skills perspective, but they may be struggling with imposter syndrome, lack of confidence, self-belief, the inner critic, that kind of thing comes up. Or they may be people who are wanting to develop their career, and it's how do they do that? What next step? So that's the organizational client. I also work with teams as well around the team mission.
Right.
If you're a private individual, then they tend to be people who are looking to get out of corporate life. And there's something about my own story that inspires them, because that is the path I took as a result of having a breakdown. And they get very, very inspired by how I became an artist.
Right.
And how did you step out of the corporate world and become somebody with their own business? And then I also have got a page on there about working with people who are training to be a coach, or they're newly qualified, to help them set up their practice.
Okay.
There's a lot of offerings in all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a long-winded explanation, you know, like
Yes.
there's no criticism. It's just like how, you know, this is data of
Yes.
how we
Yeah.
reframe that in a very short, sweet way that still has meaning, but it doesn't feel like, you know, a long explanation. Right, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So I landed here.
Yeah.
Therapist, coach, supervisor, and the time came when the risk to remain tight in a bath was more painful. Oh yes, I love that quote. So you're all very welcome to, you know, have a say, you know, make your messaging on the chat, you know, say what feels things, you know. I work holistically with body, mind, feelings, and the soul. Oh, okay, online and in person. I didn't know that. So with your own history, my approach, I offer executive, coach, sorry. First and foremost, feels very safe. It's the perfect space from which I have been able to explore my challenges, edges, and she has a profound wisdom that, in my view, is rare. Well, that says it all, doesn't it?
Mm.
Right. So let's have a look at the about page. Are these your own prints? You know, the background?
Yeah, it's my art. Yeah.
Okay. There you are. Almost right. Okay. So, I mean, the first thing I would say, you know, without going into the whole website, is just feels a little impersonal. I know you are talking to corporates perhaps, but also, you know, how can we, you know, bring you in so you can welcome people? You know, you're not a beginner, you know, you're very experienced. And I imagine if people are curious about why you left corporate and how you transitioned to being an artist, you know, that is quite a foundational thing that attracts people. It doesn't mean that that's the only thing you do, but, you know, there's something about that that really clicks, because it will be telling people that you have knowledge and, you know the corporate well. So that is already covered for corporate people. But also, you know, you've got this softer side, you know, in between inverted commas, where you can really express yourself in whichever way happens to be. And that's a conundrum for a lot of people. And, you know, like you said, midlife people in middle age, you know, wanting to transition, people that have problems. So as I go down the website again, it just feels really wishy-washy, like there's nothing to it. It feels too neutral. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know Trudy, don't you? Trudy? No?
Trudy, yes. Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, she has like a similar offering in the sense that how to combine corporate, you know, life, you know, how to come out of corporate life, you know, into the artistic realm and how to express yourself. I'm not talking about your services. I'm talking about the frequency of how you show up. And I'm wondering if it can just be one website, really.
Yeah.
stop hiding the other side and incorporate them both into one unified experience, an integrated experience, because I'm going to stop sharing, you are already integrated yourself. Yeah, you've
Well, that's the question. I'm split, yeah, and that's what
online
shows
you're
two
split.
websites.
Online you're split, but
Yeah.
in person you probably are not.
I feel I am.
Still.
Yeah.
Okay, well then that's something
Yes.
to be aware of. Again, it's
Yes.
information.
Yeah.
So maybe you still need 2 websites.
Yeah.
For a little longer, to have the art side,
Yeah.
and buzzing and thriving, and I've seen your work, it's incredible.
Mm.
And then to have your coaching and therapeutic website just perhaps a little bit more aligned with
Yeah.
the therapeutic website, less completely split.
Yeah.
There's a point where the 2 websites always become one for most people that I know.
Mm.
I had 2 websites as well, or 3. I
Yeah.
had one for my women's temple offering. I used to offer women's temple. I had one for your website school where I used to teach people, in groups, all these processes, and then I would build their websites. And then I had one for my Nora Zimmerman. It was just 3 websites, three things.
Yeah, and I think this is why I've been messing about with that website that you've just seen, because it's just not sitting right. And the question about do I need 2 or should it all sit on one website is one I've lived with for probably 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
So that word about the integration is what's been going on, I think, for the last year. And I mean, I think Trudy's website is absolutely beautiful. I love the work that you've done with her. And the the art website has been lovely since the day it was first created. It's on its 2nd version, and it's because I'm speaking through my art.
Yes.
And I find it so much easier to be in that space and with that website than I do the one you've just seen. And I think that's really interesting. And I also think it's really interesting with your first visualization exercise today. I wandered off somewhere, and where did I go? I was in the marquee for an art fair. So it's like, that's the place I probably need to spend more time and stop worrying about all this coaching stuff. Yeah.
Do you enjoy the coaching?
I have done, but again, in the last 6 months, I've started to get a little bit bored with it.
Yeah.
So,
And nothing wrong with that,
yeah.
I mean, this is
It
just
served its purpose,
it's in the moment idea, what would
Yeah.
it be like to have a coaching section in the art website
Yeah.
where you can just have, this is
Mm.
what I used to do. I'm still offering
Yeah.
this service to selected clients. Please, get in touch for a conversation. So it's just a
Yeah.
little thing on your website. It's like me, with website refresh. I
Mm.
didn't really offer it ever, but loads of clients always came to me for it.
Yeah.
The clients that knew me. So I have put it, I think, on my website. I can't remember now because I've been tinkering with my website too. There we go.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not something I lead with. I lead with websites and brandings that are new. That's where I really lead with. That's where I really thrive. That's where I love to create intimate connections with people and build websites and brands.
Mm.
Do I do brochures? Yes, of course I do. Loads of brochures, corporate identity. I do all sorts of other things. Yeah. Some of my clients, they need banners to put, outside an event.
Mm.
But I don't lead with that.
Mm.
So it's like you are kind of transitioning to this place of being more in your right seat, you're
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
in the constellation of you know, these things that happen in life. And
Mm.
then this is kind of dragging you back a little bit, you know, the coaching, feeling a little bit dissonant with you.
Yeah.
But also, you know, can I still have it? You know, I've got still a connection with it. Can I still hold it here where I am now, instead of trying to make it, you know, another chair next to me?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Any questions? I'm so sorry, we're running completely over time. I've never done this before.
That's all right.
Yeah. Any questions, Gina or Lynn, you know, before we go? Lovely. Okay, well, it's been absolutely wonderful to be with you. Thank you for your time, and I hope this was useful. And I'll be sending the recording in the next couple of days.
Is there a way, can I just ask, is there a way, because you were saying to Michaela that next time you could look at her website, is that something that I could get you to look at mine? Like, how would I do that at some point? Oops.
So there's two ways of doing that. I'm going to stop the recording so it doesn't feel so long.